Hello everybody, this is Debbie from Wild and Woolly.
And this is Kim. How are y'all doing today?
Yes, how are you? And welcome to Bits and Bobs. We have a special Bits and Bobs today. We've decided that we're going to stop fiddling around trying to get our text working, and we're just going to go straight for it, because every time we run a test it works beautifully, and then when it comes to the real thing it doesn't work. So you are our test today, so it looks to me like it's working.
So far so good.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
And we're also going to get back to a little more instruction. Let's start our learning sessions back up again a little bit more.
Yes.
We've had a few changes over the past few months because of vacation and one thing and another. But anyway, so welcome. Thank you for joining us today. And what do we have to talk about today, Kim?
Well, we have a little bit of everything. You want to talk about what's new in the shop or just what's here new on this table? Because it might take the whole time.
Oh, okay.
Because if you could see the table, you'd be like, oh my gosh, what are they doing? So yes, Debbie let me plan today's demo, which is something that I have fun with. And I will tell you, it's embroidery, hand embroidery. I don't know all the fancy stuff. It's just what I've learned, probably as a 6-year-old, I think was my first piece, believe it or not. I had the mom that if she was doing something and I was sitting there aggravating, then I had to do it also. So that's how I became so crafty, I guess. But my mom's big thing was that she always had something to hem work, embroidery work to do.
Yeah.
And I really find that I start doing some little something when either I'm over a quilting project, I just don't know what to do next. Granted, now we have knitting, so that's still new to me. But before knitting, I would go do something, either cross stitch or something with floss. Because sometimes buying a new skein of floss in a new color, oh, it's just fun.
She gets really excited when that happens.
Yes, I love floss. Just ask. So
handwork is nice, though.
Yes,
handwork is nice because you can just sit quietly.
Yes,
it's relaxing. You don't have to be sitting at a table. You don't have to have machinery all around you.
Yeah.
You've just got you and your work.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the biggest thing, my mom used a hoop all the time, and that's up to you if you want to use a hoop. You don't have to, but, I'm hit and miss, depends on what I'm working on. And like I said, we've got the table. I don't know how we show the table.
Oh, we will, don't worry.
Okay, we'll show the table.
Yeah.
But basically, we're just doing, just some plain stitches. We are, hello, Claire. We are doing my favorite, which I guess once you see what's on this table, you'll see why it's probably my favorite: a daisy stitch, a stem stitch, a running stitch. We're also posting a free sheet from DMC that just has different embroidery stitches for you to download and look at. But if nothing else, get something to do. You'll laugh.
Linda said she loves stories about your mom.
I know. She knew my mom. Yeah. My mom, if you know me, starting at age 13, I called her Maxine once, and she came close to probably smacking me. But one of my aunts saved my life that day because she had said, they called my mom Mac. And so she said, Mac, Kim has been calling you about 15 times and you wouldn't answer her. So that was what she had to do. So after she thought about it, she thought it was so funny. So now, if I have 2 older sisters that, of course, are old enough or were old enough to be my parents. They were never allowed to call her Maxine. But I got to call her Maxine whenever I wanted to. And she just thought it was so funny. So, so to say the least, this was something, even after she'd had several strokes, she could still do it. And so, yeah.
All these pieces that you've brought today, and I'm going to switch the camera and show you everybody, but all the pieces that Kim brought today, these are all your mom's pieces, correct?
These are all my mom's pieces.
All right, so get ready.
I know of. There are, she loved pillowcases and...
do you want to talk us?
And scarves. I couldn't tell you when she made them. I can tell you the one that has Robbie on it is my older sister. And she would have probably made that for her when she was a little girl, because you can see it's kind of falling apart.
Look at these flowers.
And you know, dresser scarves, I don't know about you, but I was raised with the mother that you had to have a scarf on your dressers. This one I love, the yours and mine. I can promise you I never saw these on my parents', you know, bed.
This is so funny.
And but the mine looks like it's been used. The yours looks like, I guess she didn't let my dad use his because it's still kind of nice. And then
look at this.
My favorite is the baskets. But
That's
what
beautiful.
I really like is the ones that she I don't know if she crocheted the edges or she had a friend that she worked with at the paper mill that might have done that. The owls, I still use to this day. It's like wink and blink and a nod is what she would have called it. But what I love is most of these would have been, you know, what was it, the Ward's catalog where you got pre-printed pillowcases and scarves. This is a newer pre-printed. In fact, this was the last one she made for me. And it just needs to be embroidered on the edge, or not embroidered, crocheted on the edge. And so you can tell how her stitches really changed as she got older. But it's not as nice. I mean, I won't be putting it on my bed because they're not to sleep with, because it's not nice soft cotton.
Right.
But like I do know these would have all came from like
Look at that basket.
Yeah. She loved baskets, but I guess you can say I love baskets too.
Look at this.
This is my sewing basket. So yes. So yes.
Look at this. These three posies here. Really pretty.
So yeah. So if you had that mom, you know, that would have been, she would have been, oh my gosh, 78. She would have been 98 years old this year. So, you know, she did it again. She was one of 13 kids in Tennessee. So they lived on a farm, was raised on that farm. They were the farm helpers. There was no, let's hire people, because again, there were 13 kids. And no twins, same mom and daddy, which I'm always like, great day.
Linda said they're beautiful and she loves the basket and the owls. And Claire said, oh, Kim, they are beautiful.
Thank you. So my plan for these one day, because, you know, I can't use them all. And I was just telling Debbie, what's her name here, that, you know, some of them have gotten stains on them. Of course, they've just been in the linen closet. So check your linen closet if you have a lot of stuff. Make sure that, you know, you change them out, you know, move them around so that you can not have so many stains on it or whatever. But I'm thinking eventually I'm going to cut them up and put them all into a quilt. But I don't know how yet.
Yeah, I think that would be really pretty.
But it'll be a way to save them, because some of these I've only got one pillowcase of, and no, I don't know what happened to the other pillowcase. So, but like I said, the yours and mine I just found this past week because I knew I was doing this.
All right.
So yes.
So if you want to get like right here, Kim.
Okay, that's my plan.
That's your thingy right here.
So
you're right in the center there, okay?
So I'm gonna show you kind of. Oh, look, there's some more scissors. Oh, I do need a piece of embroidery floss.
What color?
Whatever color you think will show up, and just probably about this long. I don't need very long. So just, you know, I'm using plain cotton. You can use a linen. You can use whatever you like. Oops. Hello. I'm using Dmc Floss. It's one of my favorites. I also like the over-dyed floss if you can find it. But again, DMC is the thing. And I meant to bring, I know why I didn't. I meant to bring, I have hundreds of floss threads. Hundreds, if maybe not 1,000. I started cross-stitching when I was 13, and so my birthday and Christmas gifts for a couple of years from my brother was he would send my mom to Piece Goods, and she would just buy me a handful of floss. Didn't matter what color it was, so I had a handful of floss, and I would wind them on the cards, and she would sit and laugh at me because her floss, she would take off the little tags off of a DMC Floss thing, and then she would just throw it in this bowl. Yeah. So it'd be a tangled mess. And so when she
Oh, my
needed a
God.
color, she would just pull out and snip off. So it was just a mess.
Wow.
So when she got older, she decided the ball of mess was just horrible. And so she'd be like, let me use some of your floss. And I'd be like, do not
No.
tangle it. If you mess it up, I will not mess it up. But she thought it was so funny that I had taken the time to, you know, do all this thing.
Right.
So you're also going to need some, you know, an embroidery needle. We have some in stock from John James.
Oh, okay,
Oops.
wait, back to this now. There we
Oh,
go.
I didn't know where we are.
Yeah, we're here now.
So, John James embroidery needles. There's 3 different sizes in this pack, so it's very nice. So there's that. You would like a nice pair of scissors.
Hello, Renata.
And, you know, I love the perfect little scissors. I mean, they're just nice and sharp.
We love these scissors.
So, yes, you see, we've got a tag on it, so nobody can take them.
Yeah.
You could also get away with just some little snips, because again, I'm not cutting fabric, I'm just doing this.
Yeah.
Now, the other thing is we're using DMC Floss, which we have here, but we also sell the Sulky 12 weight, and if you didn't know this, 1 strand of this equals to 2 strands of DMC. And don't ask how I know that, but I learned that this week.
You just learned that this week?
Yes, I just learned that this week. I just knew it was 12 weight, but I just didn't know how many threads it represents. So now, as the pillowcases, they were pre-marked, or it was the iron-on transfers, which you can still find online. You know, I know I've seen them in the shops, the old-timey ones.
And actually, we have some transfer paper.
Do we?
We do, yeah.
So, yeah. But there's transfer paper with the designs already on it.
Yeah, but
So,
these are printable, so you can put your own
So
designs.
yes, you can print your own designs. And those are nice if you're doing, because here lately people have taken the like little flowers and they just embroidered them on their sweaters instead of doing the duplicate stitch. So it's really neat. You can use a chalk pencil, a regular pencil. You could use the mark be gone to draw whatever you want to. Tell you the truth, and don't be shocked. A lot of times I use a Micron Pen because it's permanent. It's permanent.
It's black.
It's black. Yes,
That's
it's black.
brave.
But it's a, you know, this is a 0.01. You know, I use a thin one so that it's going to be covered with my thread. But I'm doing it today, so hopefully y'all can see it. You know, I just kind of do some marks to just eyeball when I'm just doing something kind of, you know, just free form. You can do whatever, you know, you would like to do. But like I said, so you can see it's a real tiny line. So you can, you know, just cover it with your thread. Now, DMC Floss has 6 strands, and I like to use 2. If you looked at my mom's work, I think she used at least 3 all the time. And I just pull it out just like that, and then put them back together. And as you can see, we had a teacher at the guild one time that she said, you know, run your fingers over your thread. You're kind of putting the oil from your hands, I guess, in it. You're loving your thread. And I just thought that was nice.
That is nice.
So you're not going to see this, but I'm spitting on my...
Well, that's not loving it if you're spitting on it.
Well, I'm just kind of getting my 2 strands together.
Hey, Judy, long time no see.
I know.
Was he happy, Judy? Does he know? Has he seen it? Judy came by today because her hubby wouldn't wear a sweater that she knit for him because it was white. So we dunked it in the indigo.
So I just did a plain knot.
Just a plain knot?
Just a plain knot.
Like a plain knot or a quilter's knot or what?
Just a plain knot.
Just a plain knot?
Because I want a nice big, as my mom would say, a big juicy knot.
Yeah, okay.
Because I don't want it to pop out through this fabric, because sometimes it can. And I'm just using a Motabella solid. And so the first thing I'm going to show you is just basically, you know, you're coming up, and it's a running stitch. So you tell me if you can't see it. Oops. So running stitch, you would just kind of come out and go down, and
Don't you have to run while you're doing it?
No, luckily you don't have to run. If you looked at me, you'd say she hasn't ran in a while. And so, I'm sorry, this is a back stitch kind of running stitch. So you're just going to go in and out, right back where it came in. And if y'all can't see what I'm doing, just say something. So you can see you just go a little bit away, and then you go right back down, right where you finished your last stitch.
And can I just mention, folks, if you, after this is finished playing, on replay, you can usually zoom in and get more details.
And see how my thread is kind of tangling, curling on itself? If you drop it, oops, I don't know if that will help. Drop it and let your needle carry the weight, and it'll untwist itself so it can, you know, stay kind of flat. If it still bothers you, maybe use some thread conditioner like Thread Heaven, which we carry. I didn't bring any with me. And you see I messed up and it didn't match. But you can see my 2 strands of floss is covering my Micron Pen.
Yeah, but you're using blue floss.
It would have cut me off with some pink.
White, I'm thinking, oh, you wouldn't use white. Well, you would use white.
Yeah, it would still cover it. Because it's 2 strands. Now, the only thing that I didn't do is if I'm using my Micron Pen, to make it permanent, I need to heat set it. So heat setting's just 20 seconds and then you're fine.
Yeah.
So the other stitch that's popular is a stem stitch, which, ladies, gentlemen, again, it's really easy. If a 6-year-old can do it, you can do it. So again, you're coming out.
But you are speaking of 6-year-old you.
Yeah, 6-year-old me. So you're coming out, you go in and just come halfway. See right there, it's coming out. And let me know if my hand's in the way. And then you just bring it out. And then again, you're just going to go a little bit, go halfway, or kind of like there at the end. And so then it kind of does this stitch on top. So it's called a stem stitch.
So you're semi-overlapping yourself, so you get it thicker.
So it does do it thicker.
Oops-a-daisy.
But it's really pretty. So is there any questions?
No, just remarks. Judy said, just got home, haven't shown him yet. You were right, that bag was heavy. Thanks so much for your guidance and help. And she also said, hi dolls, and Renata said hello. I've read all these out before. Kim said it's beautiful. And Linda.
So just a stem stitch.
I did post the link to DMC Stitch Guides. So that's in there, folks, if you want to get stitching.
And so as you can see I'm keeping my thread to the left. You can keep it to the right, but you need to be consistent.
You've got to choose.
You need to choose. So
and
there.
then remember what you chose.
So yes. Then to end, you're just going to put your, take it back in. Flip it over, and then this is the easiest part. You're just going to run it through couple of times. I'm probably more paranoid over this than my mom ever was. She would have just done it once, but I, was more paranoid than she is. And so when you do that last one, when you bring it up before you close it, just run your needle through that little loop twice and pull and clip.
Lovely.
And that's it.
Very nice.
So now let's do some more blue. We still have time.
We do.
So 2 more strands. Hopefully everybody can see this.
Can you all see what Kim's doing?
Oops. Trim this off so I have a better end to spit on. So my next thing that I want to show you how to do, because again, this is if you saw everything I did do, I love doing I call it a lazy daisy stitch.
Oh.
And it's so easy. And let's just say, it's one of those things that I will say, it's like eating potato chips. You can't just do one. You're going to do 100 of them.
Yeah.
And, but it's just a lot of fun. And so you can use it for daisies or flowers or just a leaf. You start with a circle, like just one little dot, and you're just going to go around it. And you just come up, come right back down where you came out, and go up however far you want that daisy stitch to be. Make your loop, and then you go right down where you want it to stop.
Cute.
It's that easy. And you just do them, like you could do them in a cross and then go back and fill in. But, you know, that's for amateurs. Just go start making your flower. Just kind of keep it a distance, same distance for your, you know, daisies. Oops, am I in the wrong place again?
Judy said, yes, you're very clear. She can see clearly. That's awesome.
Judy's so good for us.
I know. We always get good feedback, Judy.
So again, that's just, that's a lazy daisy. And then, okay, the hardest thing that everybody always says they have problems with, and I was the same way until I had to cross stitch something that probably had 100 French knots in it, and by then you could do a French knot. So French knot coming right into my little dot that I drew. Let it come up. You're going to wind. It's not a colonial knot, it's a French knot. So French knot, you're going to just hold on to it, wind around 3 times, 4 if you want to be really thick. You're going to go back down in that dot that was drawn, but not where you came out, just right beside it, a thread's width. So then you're going to pull that thread kind of tight, let the needle stay up and down, hold on to everything, and finish sewing, pulling it out. And I promise you, you'll have a French knot the same size every time.
Cute.
So French knots.
Really cute.
Isn't that cute?
That is really, really cute.
So yes, so let me show you what else I've done. Unless y'all you need some more help. But those are just the 3 basics. So if you can do those, you can do a lot.
Yes.
A lot of things.
A lot of things.
So here lately on Instagram, there is, oh, there's my embroidery floss. We're very organized.
I think this is proof that we should not do test runs.
I know,
this
right?
is working beautifully.
We should just go live.
What are you looking for, lady?
And any husbands that are watching, you're welcome for the free entertainment. There it is. So there are people doing their, you know, embroidery little
Is that
hexagons.
yours?
Yes, I did this. And but I got carried away. I was just supposed to do one and a few leaves.
But you couldn't stop.
But I couldn't stop. So all I did was I drew out my you know, I have the template. And for I think this is a 1-inch hexagon, and then I wrapped it after I finished.
That is adorable.
So it will go in because I got some whatchamacallit, Liberty fabrics. I think it's going to go with that. So yes.
Nice.
The other thing that you don't know that I've been doing, we had this great pattern in, and I've got the panel done. I decided to do, okay, this is Hugs and Kisses Honey Vallis. And so this is mine. I don't know if you'll be able to see it.
Oh, look at your bee.
So yes, the bee was so much fun.
Oh.
And so it's just colors that I liked. I've kind of, I kind of sort of followed her directions, but not really. And then...
That is beautiful.
Isn't it pretty?
It's really beautiful.
I've got some leftover...
Look at these French knots in the center, people. She's got them in a different color, so they really stand out.
Whatchamacallit, these are leftover from Valerie Wells' project. And so these will go on the edge here and then also on the back to finish this zipper bag.
Wow. This is the bag right
yes.
here, people. This is what she's doing.
So yeah. So then I have all of these that will be the back part. Now the only thing I'm doing different is she sewed all of her hexagons together by hand. And this is what happens when I'm watching whatever at night, in the middle of the night. So one lady I watched, she's just she put all of hers together, kind of glued it down, and then she's using the feather stitch on her machine, or I guess it's kind of like a blanket stitch, but it goes both ways with some sulky thread so it shows. And so I'm going to do that in white.
So she's sewing it down onto fabric.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's my...
That's beautiful.
So yes.
Really nice. Look how pretty that is.
So yes.
Really,
so
really
I need
pretty.
I've got an orange zipper for it.
Awesome.
Or blues, yeah, orange.
It's really pretty.
And I think I may have this. I've got 2 different color zippers. And then I have more of this fabric that can be on the inside. So yes.
It's beautiful.
So yeah.
It's beautiful. Now the other thing is we're going to switch cameras here because Kim has some giveaways. And I guess right now we've got Judy, Renata, Linda Abram, and Claire. Claire, you can have one if you want, but we'll hold it here till you get here.
Oh, she'll be here in March.
But Judy, would you like one of these? Let's switch this camera, okay?
So yes.
Kim brought in. Oh, go. You can tell them. Yeah.
So again, you know, not that I'm cleaning out the house, but you know, I had to go through. I was going through a box, and it had all these sets of pillowcases and scarves. Some that she kind of started, my mom. Some that she hasn't. Let's see, the yellow one. She had started. Ooh, there's a lot in this one. Has started. So today's giveaway is you're getting pillowcases
that you can finish.
That you can finish along with the DMC thread. It may not be the exact color that you like, but hopefully you'll like it. But you can add to it. But we have these. So happy Mom's Day, or happy for Mom. To you.
Valentine's
For
Day.
Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Or happy January. Next week is her birthday, so happy birthday.
All right.
So we're going to celebrate Maxine by giving away her pillowcases and some thread, because this is something she really liked.
So if you want one of these pillowcases and thread that Kim's given away that her mum started, please comment in our comments here.
Yes.
And it's first come, first serve.
There you go.
And please live locally so we don't have to pop it in the mail. And just let us know. And Kim's going to share her mum's.
And Claire's first. Yay!
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 Good. We'll save one
yes.
for you, Claire.
We'll get you started if you don't know how.
That's right, yeah. Yeah.
But again, like she did her pillowcases, very simple stitches, lazy daisy, or just a straight running stitch or a stem stitch.
Yeah. Really pretty.
So yes,
I mean,
even
look
that
how
one
pretty
started.
this is.
So yes, and if you don't like what she started, you're welcome to take it out.
Look how pretty.
So yes,
isn't that nice?
And that was kind of one of the newer pillowcases. I remember buying those for her to do, because she was like, I don't know, this is just a little too modern for me.
Oh, is that what she said?
Yeah, because she was more of the, the little birds.
So does this blue come off?
It does. Well, it's supposed to come out.
Okay.
But when you wash it, but let me just say.
Because that's very bright.
Well, it's for, make sure you can see it. Who knows how long it's been on the shelf of where it is. And it's been at my house since, I don't know when.
So
yes.
Yes, it's your lucky day today.
So yes,
yeah,
it's a set of pillowcases, and sometimes it's two sets of pillowcases, and sometimes it's a set with a scarf.
So pretty.
So yes.
So pretty.
So there you go.
Table topper.
So does anybody have any questions?
Claire said she'd be honoured, and that they're lovely, and they are so delicate.
So yes.
All right. So look at that, people. We got through this without a technical hitch. What do you think?
Knock on wood.
So record-setting day.
So yes.
Thank you very much for joining us. We're always happy for you to join us.
So yes.
And please remember to comment if you would like one of these lovely embroidered pillowcases to work on. Judy said, cool, a new craft for me. Today was my mother's birthday.
106.
She would have been 106. So you should maybe make one in her honour, Judy.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, folks, we're going to sign off. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yes, thank you.
And thank you, Kim. You did a nice job.
Oh, you're welcome.